Hello, Epic Horror fans, and welcome back. It's been a very long time since I've been on here doing a video, but we're going to cover a trilogy of films tonight, and the next video, and the one after that, because we're separating this into 3 parts. You know, give you something every week. So, without further ado, I'm JTISREBORN. This is my good friend Spiderjackangel, and today we are talking about the Dracula 2000 trilogy. We're going to start with Dracula 2000, then move on to the really crappy sequel, then move on to the sequel that's also crappy but not as crappy. So, before we begin, I just wanted to say that this trilogy as a whole is pretty bad. It's got some funny moments, but this was a really cheap buy, and I'm just like, you know what? Well, let's do this for Epic Horror fans. And Spiderjackangel sat through the sequels with me, and I was really happy that he did because we got some good laughs out of it.
And let's be fair, before you saw the sequels, I even watched them beforehand because I was a fan of the first movie, Dracula 2000, and I had to watch the sequels despite how shitty they could be. So.
Alright, so we're going to cover Dracula 2000 in this video, then we'll do Dracula 2 and then Dracula 3. So, Spiderjackangel. Oh, you know, let's first talk about the plot of this, and then we'll get our thoughts. So, Dracula 2000. Let me read the analysis on, or the synopsis on the back. Analysis. See, I'm losing it already because then we have to get into this. So basically, when a team of techno-savvy thieves, one of them being Hyde from that '70s show, mind you, break into like this high-security vault. They go into it, this crypt, all this stuff, and they're like, "Where's the fucking gold, man?" They're like, "Oh, there's a coffin there," but it's really Dracula's coffin. Really, just take the fucking coffin. All the security and this old guy's got to have some money in here, and it's actually Van Helsing who's been keeping himself alive by, you know, injecting himself with Dracula's blood and shit. So they get the coffin, Hyde opens it up, and then Dracula's unleashed. Dracula in this movie is played by Gerard Butler. The best actor in the movie, without a doubt, is Christopher Plummer. I mean, that was pretty much a given. He's really good as Van Helsing, but oh boy. Spiderjack, how about you start?
Well, let me first say that I like the beginning of this movie where they showed like the opening of it being Dracula's coffin on a boat and everything like that.
I like the beginning of the movie too.
You know, that was really unique. I thought that was really interesting. And, you know, like you said, who the best actor in this film is, I would have to say, despite the fact that you may not think he's, like, that good in this movie, I would say Johnny Lee Miller actually did a pretty good job in the movie. He is more famous now for playing Sherlock on CBS, and this was before he played Sherlock and before he got that, you know, breakout role. But, however, story-wise, when I saw it, I actually really dug it. I thought it was a unique telling of the Dracula tale and basically bringing it to modern days and everything like that. I didn't really have a whole lot of problem when I first watched it in theaters. I thought it was actually pretty good. I do have to say, probably if I was to go back to it now, I might have a little bit of problems here and there because I have not watched this in probably within the last 5 years. I mean, when I bought it, I basically watched it more than what I have recently watched it. So it's been a while since I've actually watched it. I'm a little fuzzy on some of the details here and there, but I remember pretty much like the slow motion action sequences, which they copied right out of the Matrix. I mean, heck, even on the back it says, "Scream-like thrills, Matrix-like action." And
mine doesn't say that because it's this.
And also, really there's other, like, good actresses in this film. I mean, okay, I should probably say good to okay actresses, but in terms of basically the movie and everything, the movie to me is just okay. I mean, it's not the best adaptation of Dracula. It's not like the holy grail adaptation of Dracula films. I mean, to me, if you want a really good Dracula movie, you would basically go back and watch some of the Christopher Lee ones, or
Oh yeah, Horror Dracula is my
Bela
favorite.
Lugosi, or even check out the
92
anime
one.
Helsing, which I actually think does a really good job at portraying Dracula. So, you know, in terms of the movie enjoyment value, if you just want a somewhat of a horror film mixed in with a little action, and you kind of care about the plot, but the plot isn't really 100%, you know, want your main focus. You just want something to kill time. I would recommend it. It's enjoyable.
See, for me, I like the beginning of the movie when it started out as a heist movie. So like this is when the movie goes down for me. Obviously, is when Van Helsing gets taken out. I did like how they brought up why Dracula hated like Silver. They tied it to like Dracula is not Dracula. He's Judas Iscariot, and he was the one who betrayed Jesus. Um, wait, let me go to Dracula really quick. The guy who plays him is Gerard Butler. You know, there's Sparta. He
Yeah.
is he's pretty bad. He is not a good Dracula. He's not the worst. I'd give that to Dracula 2, for sure. My God, Dracula! I can't wait to get to Dracula 2.
I can't wait to get to Dracula 2 as well. That movie is very bad for multiple reasons.
Okay,
Heck,
but
I would probably say that all the actors and actresses in this movie do a lot more better than what you get in Dracula 2. But that's a whole nother story. So let's keep on.
yeah, we'll save that for later. But like, Gerard Butler sucked in my eyes as Dracula. He was not that good at all compared to someone like you were saying, like Christopher Lee, to Bela Lugosi, to Gary Oldman, and a bunch of other people who have played him. He's just not that good. He like has barely any personality. Not to mention like he's falling for this like girl named Mary, who's literally like this wall right here has more personality and depth than she does.
Well, I have to say, I sort of like the angle because they have always played like that sort of
What was
type
her
of
name,
angle
Mary?
here and there. The fact that Dracula goes after Van Helsing's daughter, I mean, they have always kind of played that, here and there. I mean, I did like the fact that they sort of did that, and I do like the fact that where he basically walks into, this is a little spoiler here, but where he walks into that CD music store to basically hit on Mary's roommate, and the very, very, very unique sex scene that follows after
He's like,
that was, yeah. I mean, that was pretty interesting.
he's like, he did have one kind of funny moment where he's just like, I love this place. But he's just like so like boring as Dracula. I mean, good God. I mean, he's not
Well,
the one.
let's be fair. Gerald Butler is actually a pretty good actor. It's just probably maybe the writing of this movie,
And it's just the way he approached the role. Because I've seen,
Yeah.
because like Christopher Plummer didn't have the greatest stuff. Well, he had the best material in the movie to work with, but he made it pretty sweet. Like he did a good job in his role because he's Christopher Plummer. He's able to make something that's not entirely great work. Gerard Butler, I mean, granted he's still young in his career. He looks really young in this movie, but he's just not good as Dracula. He's one of the weaker portrayals of the character that I've seen. He's just not very good. I mean, the movie starts out promising, then by the end it just gets like you feel empty. Like the beginning had a cool build up, and then like
to each its own. I mean, you may feel empty. I actually thought it was a pretty good ending, but to each its own. Every viewer has a different taste on what they will like versus what they won't like. I actually like the movie and its ending, despite like a little bit of complaints like here and there. Like some of the scenes in the film, you don't necessarily see Dracula attack his victims here and there.
Yeah, he's kind of just like stalling. And then like one thing that always bugged me though, like in the movie, Like when they first unleash Dracula and he feels the sunlight, he just makes the clouds like morph around and block out the sunlight. Well, why the hell doesn't he do that everywhere he goes? I mean, his power is pretty much like seems unlimited. It always kind of bugged me. Like, why can't
Yeah,
he
his
just change
power
them?
is if they would have like allowed him to show his true power because let's face it, if anybody wants to see Dracula kick a whole bunch of ass, just just watch. I know this is my second time recommending this, but just watch the Helsing anime. I mean, that is a much
Mm.
more.
Or if you want like Dracula doing something like that too, you can even go see like when I saw Dracula Untold. Like Luke Evans was pretty good in the role. Like it was a different take, but he still did a good job in what he was given, and like he kicked a lot of ass in that movie. But this one, he's just like he doesn't have that menacing presence at all. Like none of the Draculas in these like the actors who played him, like had that presence. Like this would disappoint me. Like Dracula doesn't have any bit of menacing presence when he's on screen. The build up to him, it does have that. Like when he first like shows up, like when he's getting built up to, there's that presence that you're feeling. Like you feel his presence, like when they're before they open the coffin. Then once he's on screen, it's just like, oh dear, oh dear.
Well, I would even say like when he gets out of the coffin, that was actually pretty cool. You know, like the
Yeah,
whole.
that seems cool. And then you just see Gerard Butler, and I just started laughing because he just looks. He's just so like. What am I? I'm trying to find. He's more like a GQ model than like King of the Vampires type feel. He's just like, you like how much conditioner I use in my hair. I'm just saying, he just wasn't that great. Christopher Plummer's really good. Other than that, like, there's some other things that bother me too. Like one of the vampires who gets turned. Hyde's in the movie too, which was really funny. He's the only one who apologizes for being a vampire. He's like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm a vampire. What am I supposed to do?" That was pretty funny. We could have used some more Hyde in this movie. But then there's the one vampire, and this irritated me because he's just like, this one guy has a cross up against him. He's like, "Sorry, I'm an atheist." You're a fucking vampire. I mean, it's just like you should, you know, be affected by the cross and stuff, but he really isn't, and that just irritates me. I mean, the holy water affects every other vampire but this guy. I mean, like, is he immune? Is he just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm not gonna be, you know what, how about this? I don't believe in sunlight. I'm gonna walk out into the sun, and it's not gonna bug me anymore. Oh, hey, look, it's all, I'm good now. You know what? I don't need a thirst for blood anymore. I'm just gonna believe in not having to, like, have this hunger for blood. You know what? I don't thirst for blood anymore. I feel better. It's just like, to me, it just bugs me. And you disappeared. But it's okay. Not really much else to say. Uh, this movie, like I said, it's not my favorite Dracula movie. It's not the worst I've seen. I mean, granted, I've seen the other two Dracula movies, and I've watched parts of Dracula 3000. I don't know if you've seen that one.
That's the one in space, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that with Casper Van Dien, I believe, and God, I think I want to say no, she's not it. I'm trying to. It has one of the Baywatch babes in it. I can't remember the one that was in Under Siege, the blonde girl from Under Siege.
hmm I've always like I used to think that was a sequel to Dracula 2000 when I was younger, but I guess not. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the movie.
What were you gonna rate it if you're gonna rate it out of 10?
Um, 5
Really?
-1, so I'm
Really?
4.
5 out of 10.
4.
4. Surprisingly, actually, I'm probably going to be right there with. I mean, despite my likings of it, I'd probably be right there with you. I actually thought you were going to rate it actually at least a 3 out of 10, but
No, I think 4
I
is okay.
actually would probably go about a 5.5. I mean, there are certain things about it I did like, and then there's certain things about it I, didn't like. If I have to say the stuff that I didn't like, I'd probably say like some of the off-screen kills here and there. There isn't a whole lot of it, but like a couple of the times when Dracula would turn a girl into a Draculina, they wouldn't 100% show it. You know, I mean, like for instance, is like when he turned Jerry Ryan into a Draculina, and she's the news reporter in this movie, and basically she's covering the plane crash after it happens and everything like that, and you basically just see her, as I recall, her newsman get attacked, and then she tries to hide in the van, and then Dracula opens up the door, and then basically he gets in the van, but they don't show anything what happens afterwards. Mm-hmm. As kind of
yeah, probably for budget reasons. You know what would have been funny though? You know that old guy who always comes up on screen? He's like, right in the pussy. That guy. I think it would be funny if that guy showed up and just like, or just some of the. I just think it would be funny, like one of those epic fail news moments would have happened. But yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a 4 out of 10. I'm on my Bret Hart shit.
A 5 out of 10 for me. 5.5, somewhere in between there. I know your favorite actor is in the sequel.
I can't wait to get to that. So that's gonna wrap us up for today. Everyone, stay tuned for part 2. 4 out of 10. My Bret Hart shit. Fuck it. It's not that great, but it's better than what we have coming up. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon.